Geek Week is the streaming platform's week-long extravaganza where they tell us all about the latest TV shows and films coming to the platform, as well as some of the video games too. I'm joined today by TechRadar's Senior Editor of Entertainment, Emilia Schwanke, who is going to run us through all of the latest news and a few hot tips on what might be coming to streaming platforms soon. Emilia, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Josie. Good to be here.
Yeah, it's lovely to have you. And I'm really interested, to begin with, on understanding a little bit more about what Geek Week was this year, because it's always been a streaming show as far as I've seen it. So why was it different this year? What was it like?
So this year marked the first year that we had an in-person live event, and that was at Atlanta in the US.
Nice.
And what that kind of consisted of was lots of fans coming together in this big sort of expo type space. There was a big cosplay showcase, there were trivia games, there were like fan art. So it was just a really nice time to get sort of everyone in person. We could get the cast out there, key talent came out on the red carpet, the likes of Zack Snyder was out there promoting his new Twilight of the Gods animation series.
Charlie Brooker was there
Yes,
as well.
yeah, exactly.
What were some of the biggest announcements we saw come out of it?
So some of the biggest announcements were for some of Netflix's biggest shows. So we had the likes of Bridgerton make an appearance. We didn't really have big announcements from Bridgerton, unfortunately, but we got a season renewal for the likes of Emily in Paris, which is really big at the moment. We all want to see who a new Italian beau is. And we also got a new trailer for Squid Game, which I'm sure a lot of fans out there were excited about.
Yeah, and I haven't seen the previous trailers before this one because I'm woefully bad at keeping up to date. But I saw that it's now been confirmed the main character is Sung Ji-hyun. I noticed that he's going to be back in the Squid Games with the same player number and everything, and that is not where I actually thought it was going. I know it seems like an easy answer, but it'll be big news. I'll be excited to see what happens with that one.
Netflix has a way of not really giving too much away. So I think with all the trailers leading up to this point, we didn't really have a lot to go off. But this teaser trailer, even though it's still only a minute long, we still know a bit more about the plot and what we can expect from it. So it's still an exciting announcement.
And compared to some of the other things where we just got behind the scenes stuff,
exactly,
it's nice to see one of the major shows at least getting that love, because I think we were talking before this, it was Wednesday and Stranger Things, right?
That's right. Two of Netflix's biggest shows, and all the fans were excited to hear more about it. But unfortunately, all we got was some behind the scenes. It was still quite cool. We got to see the behind the scenes casting tour of the production set and a lot of the props and stuff like that. So there were some exciting tidbits in it, but yeah, if fans were expecting a solid release date for either of those series, unfortunately we'll still have to wait for that.
I think on the animation side as well, there was a lot of really interesting news.
I'm glad you brought that up.
That's exciting. I'm super into animation, you know that. It's exciting to see that that's coming back around, but a lot of it's new animation. So can you talk through a couple of the big announcements that we had on the animation side?
Yeah, certainly. So one of the biggest announcements we had, and actually it was one of the biggest Netflix show announcements we had, was that we now have a release date set for Arcane Season 2, which is really, really exciting for a lot of fans out there. I know that was one of the biggest ones that everyone was looking out for, so it was great to get some more news about that. But we also had some new entries. A lot of video game adaptations are coming to Netflix, which is really cool. The likes of Tomb Raider is being adapted as an animation. But another big anime that made it onto Netflix and had kind of a second life on Netflix was the likes of Castlevania. Season 2 is now coming out in next year though, so you'll have to wait for that along with Stranger Things and Wednesday Season 2.
Yeah, and there's also the one that Zack Snyder is directing.
Yes, Twilight of the Gods.
Twilight of the Gods,
yeah. So that's like, it's about like Viking kind of mythology. Nice. It's quite cool. We got the first 4 minutes of it released during Netflix Geek Week, so that was exciting for fans.
It kind of reminded me, I don't know if you've seen this one, but there was one called Son of Zeus, I think it was, the other year.
Yes.
Really reminded me of that in all the best ways, because that was a fantastic show. So a lot of the announcements we've talked about already, we don't have dates for, or they may be in the future. We do know that there are some things coming out a bit sooner, right? Can you talk a little bit about some of the news stuff that's coming up in the next month or two?
Yeah, sure. So Arcane Season 2, which we briefly spoke about, that's coming up in November. So that's really, really exciting.
So exciting.
But we also heard about some movies as well. A few of the movies that we heard about were all thrillers, and the reason for that is we're leading up to October, so it's Halloween.
Spooky season is here.
Exactly. So the likes of, we've got a new survival thriller that's coming out towards the end of the month. That's called Don't Move. And then the other two that are coming out is It's What's Inside, which premiered at Sundance Festival and received a really glowing reception from everyone. So we're really excited to see that. And the one alongside that that's coming out is Platform, the Platform 2,
yeah.
the psychological thriller horror. Both of those are coming out on October 4th.
Yeah.
So something sooner to look forward to than the likes of 2025 for Stranger Things and Black Mirror and such.
I feel like last year was a really rubbish year for Halloween movies, and these ones sound pretty exciting.
Yes, I'm
looking
looking forward to them.
Netflix Geek Week might be the theme of the day. However, there's lots to watch right now. So what else is good on different streamers right now?
Right now, so I think we'd direct everyone over to Max because we've got the new spin-off show called The Penguin out, which is really, really exciting.
Yeah.
It's been seeing loads of good reviews. In fact, go read our review on Tech Radar because we compare it to the likes of The Sopranos.
Amazing.
And that's quite a statement. So if you want to see why, head over to Tech Radar to read more.
Tom Power wrote that one, right?
Tom Power wrote that one.
And then what else is there's Agatha All Along at the moment
Agatha
as well.
All Along, sorry, yes. So over on Disney Plus or Hulu if you're in the US, we've got the WandaVision spin-off. So it's about her bringing together this new coven of witches to go down the witches' road. Yeah.
It's an interesting one because they changed the name of that like 4 times during development. So when I heard that this huge furore about Agatha All Along coming out, I was like, oh, that's what it's called. I was waiting for something else. And I guess with that, that's pretty much what we've got time for today. But I do want to ask you, what's the thing you're most excited for in the next couple of months after Geek Week?
If I had to pick just one, it would have to be Charlie Brooker's sci-fi anthology series, Black Mirror.
Yes.
Has to be without a doubt. I think some of the themes that they've tackled and some of the thought-provoking questions that it's really raised off the back of it is really interesting, and I'd love to see where it goes next.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. I'm always looking at it, I'm like, all the tech you're talking about is now happening now.
Oh yeah.
I'm a little bit worried that they're just going to go on and just be like, yeah, AI bad. And I'm like, well, yeah, I know, it's here.
This is the really cool thing about Charlie Brooker is he takes something that we're all experiencing right now, tech that's emerging, that we're sort of playing with. We don't really know where these kind of scenarios can take us, but he kind of flips it and he makes you think about these different scenarios that could play out with the tech. And that's what's really thought-provoking about it, and that's why it's really, really interesting.
I love how many times there are in our day-to-day jobs that someone will make a headline or a story that in some way directly references something spooky happening in some episode of Black Mirror from history.
It's too relatable.
It is too relatable, worryingly so. Well, on that joyous note, we'll end our overview of Netflix Geek Week here. But if you want to read all of our coverage, you can go and check out techradar.com, where Amelia and her fantastic team have written all of the best news and all of the shows that you should be looking out for. Thanks so much for joining us today, Amelia. And we'll catch you next time. Bye.